a while since I've seen you. For folks who don't know this, what is our relationship? How do we know each other?
Yeah, so we actually met, I believe it was at the Paddock through Jeannie Reed. You filled in to host for one of those intimate and interactive nights, and yeah, it was a really great night. And I remember you because your interviewing skills were really impressive.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Those were fun times. And it was before the pandemic, of course, where you
hmm
can have an intimate audience in. We could ask questions. We can laugh, have a few drinks, eat some food when you have the chance. And just all the acts were so damn good. And the thing I always remember saying when I was hosting was, people end up paying so much damn money for like shows that you see at the Scotiabank Arena and stuff like that that literally should be going to your mortgage.
Yeah.
But to be able to come to a show like this and see stellar acts, I was just so amazed. And of course, you were one of those acts too. Um, but that was again before COVID.
hmm
And COVID's changed a lot of things, especially when it came to artists who are branching out and trying to make things on their own. How were things for you during COVID? Like, what was going on with you when things were shut down? Paddock was shut down. In fact, I think at one point there was even talk it was actually out of business, and thank God that didn't happen. What was
hmm
going on with you?
Yeah, it was definitely a scary time. I mean, I had just quit all my jobs in 2019 to do music full time. So I didn't really know what was around the corner in 2020. But yeah, we had to make adjustments. We started moving online and doing shows on Zoom like this, and it was definitely adjustment. But I'm glad we're back in person now and at least starting to get back on those stages.
A lot of people talked about doing Zoom performances, which, you know, as we all now know, if we had put stock in Zoom, we wouldn't have to
Yeah.
worry about these high prices. Oof. Um, what was the difference though? What did you find? I mean, it was great to be able to see you and like doing this,
Yeah.
but I know a lot of artists talked about the energy and not seeing you know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, it's the lack of energy and like feeling someone like when you're in a room and performing, there's no other feeling that can compare, even though the number says 100 people are watching on your Instagram live, it doesn't really when it's just you in a room feel like they're actually watching. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're like I said starting to get back to that because feeling like that.
What kept you motivated? And especially because you just said you quit your jobs, you're doing this full time. This happens. Um, you know, what were you thinking about your career? Were you thinking maybe I made a mistake in dropping those jobs? Do I keep my career going? What were the thoughts?
So I was working on an EP, my first EP ever called Sunflower at the time, and we had finished recording it. We were actually had a tour planned across Canada. So everything was kind of going up and up. And then when the pandemic hit, I had to kind of reroute with everything. I still had done so much planning that I wanted to show off this EP. So I ended up doing this online tour where I had people play from their bedrooms, their kitchens, like different locations in my apartment. And yeah, I think just what kept me going was the music and the community that I had built through online open mics and yeah, just trying new things.
I'm just curious. Is your closet now your sound booth? A lot of artists have done that.
Yeah, I ended up recording my first album, Rose Garden, just in my bedroom for 6 months. But yeah.
What was that like for you? Like I said, the closet is the sound booth. You know, what other changes that you had to do, and what do you think you learned about yourself during the pandemic that you never would have thought that you could do or become before all this happened?
Yeah, I think the production side, especially, was something that I never even really touched before the pandemic. But it kind of felt like if I wanted to keep going in music, I had to start building these skills that I didn't have before, like being able to record myself. I never set foot once with my producer on the album and had to kind of figure out, how to comp my vocals and do all these things. And I'm so glad that I did it because I'm not sure I would have got into it if there wasn't the pandemic. It really pushed me to be more independent and creative in marketing and all those other things.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Amazon was very, very busy during the pandemic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I think we learned a lot about ourselves too. But musically though, do you think you changed in the way, not just how you created music, but the music within you coming out? Did that change?
I did I did some challenges during the pandemic where I actually wrote a song every day, and that definitely it did change kind of my style in a way. There was so much isolation and I hadn't seen my family or my friends, and it challenged me to make new music that maybe was hiding underneath a lot of layers of like easier songs that could come out. So yeah, I think it did change me, but I do think for the better because now I feel like my writing has improved so much.
Let's even talk about leading all this and whatever, because what kind of art do you consider yourself? A jazz artist? Do you consider yourself, like, what do you consider yourself? Because these days people do still try to put labels on artists,
They do, yeah, yeah.
but in a lot of ways that doesn't exist, because you could have an album and it could have every damn genre on it, and people can't label you except good
Yeah.
or great.
hmm That's something I don't want to say struggle with because I think it's a good thing that I'm trying to push genre and have more than one title with my name. But I would say jazz is a huge part. I have the wall behind me, you know, Billie Holiday, Amy Winehouse. But I do think rock and pop and blues, they have also a really important place in my music.
It was funny because I don't think we ever talked about, um, I'll just say Deborah Cox.
Yeah.
Thrown in. And as folks know, hopefully they know that she's being inducted in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame during the Junos this year. There's a connection with you and her, and if you
Mhm.
want to explain what that connection is too, because thank goodness back in the day I got to interview her a lot. The last time I talked to her was several years ago because she had moved to Florida, and we talked over the phone. And what a staple point, and what an amazing young woman who, like I said, was a trendsetter. What is the connection between you and her?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the pandemic, there was this competition that was called Artists for Social Change. And basically, you know, people just wrote different songs or made art pieces that related to social justice. So I ended up writing a song called Big Plans that went forward to the top three artists in Canada. And Deborah Cox was one of the judges, actually, along with like Tegan and Sarah and Priyanka, the drag queen. There was a bunch of them, and Deborah really liked my song. She had some amazing comments, and yeah, it was really surreal. Even though, again, we were on screens to hear their words and affirmations.
What did Tegan and Sarah say? Because again, I used to interview them a lot, and of course, everybody
Mhm.
knows about their Oscar nomination, which,
Yeah.
bravo on that. What did they say about your music?
She was really nice. She said that, you know, you're gonna go really far one day, and actually ended up DMing me afterwards too on Instagram, being
Oh
like, whenever
wow!
the album's done, send it to me. I'd love to listen to it. So, yeah, they're really, really nice. And to have that support also, like in the community, it was really nice.
Now, when we're talking about because we're going to talk about this new single, and I don't want to say the name of it yet. Where was this recorded? Was it in L.A.? Were you writing in Nashville? Were you here in Canada? How did this all come about? Because this isn't just a single person work of art.
Yes. So the song that we're going to be talking about, I actually went on a journey to LA in November and lived there for the month. And my first week, I had a show at Hotel Cafe where I met this artist named Lazaro, who is also a singer songwriter in the folk kind of genre. And, you know, I heard their song, they played after me or whatever, and I was really inspired to maybe write with them. So he ended up booking us a studio, and we wrote this song in like 3 hours. And we'd never met before or talked online. It was a very spontaneous collaboration, but I think we both are really happy with how it turned out.
What was the Because I like the way you just said. Okay, so I'm performing here, different city, L.A., one of the capitals for entertainment. Met somebody who decides, yeah, okay, we'll book a studio. 3 hours later, we got a great song. Like, do
Yeah,
you hear yourself saying this?
yeah, it was honestly. LA's crazy. The first week I was there, like things just kept happening, and I think that's what's so exciting about that city is you never know who's around the corner and who wants to work with you. And yeah, I'm so glad that I, put my trust in him, and we both wrote a song that was outside of our regular genre too, which was kind of exciting.
The thing I would say about LA too, great tacos. Love the tacos
Great
in
tacos,
LA.
street tacos everywhere. Yeah.
Oh gosh, love, love, love. You're hungry? Walk outside. Up, there's a
I'll
truck.
find one. Yeah, there'll be a lineup somewhere.
There'll be a lineup somewhere. It doesn't matter what the time of day is, too.
Mhm.
So let's get to it. New collaboration. What is it called, and what is it about, please?
This is called Modern Nostalgia, and it's inspired by that kind of Frank Sinatra crooner kind of era. It's also, I mean, how I was inspired to write the song is I had this prompt in my notes, which just said, nostalgia dressed up in her suit and tie. And I kind of liked the idea of personifying nostalgia. So we did this playful thing where we kind of just like make it seem like it's a person, but it's also just that feeling of being nostalgic.
You did the same thing with the video.
We did, yeah.
Talk about, can you describe it for us, please?
Yeah,
Because it's very
yeah.
cool. And even the way you look in it, too.
Yeah, no, I'm very lucky. I have a partner who's a cinematographer, so we've collaborated on four of my music videos, and this one we decided to go with that 1950s black and white. We actually shot on a 1950s lens as well,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, it was really fun. Didn't have a huge budget, but we rented a studio for the day, and we made this pretty cool performance video. The band kind of came together. They're actually not the people who play the song, but they learned it for it. And yeah, it was really fun.
You know, the thing that I've learned about a lot of artists, and I've asked this question to a lot of them in the last 2 years, and that is they've discovered how creative they can be when they are limited from the sources that they have. Did you find that with yourself in not just creating the song, but also the video too?
Yeah, definitely. There's a connection, being an independent artist, not having a label or even a manager really. I'm doing all the background stuff, and luckily I went to film school as well. So I have kind of the production knowledge and I direct all my videos as well. So you kind of got to use what you have. And again, very lucky to have a partner who is in film too. That helps. But yeah,
I'm just, is your partner there? I'm just curious. Is your partner
he's
there?
downstairs, but I'm just gesturing to where the
Oh,
stairs are.
too bad because if it was right there, I'd be like, get over here on camera.
Yeah.
But we got to get you over here back on stage somewhere. What's going on with 2022? Are dates being set for you now since things are slowly opening up?
Yeah, it's the summer's getting busier, and with June and Pride Month and all that, I've definitely got some things coming. Actually, starting to build my own band right now too, which is really exciting. So people that we can like tour with and collaborate. But yeah, I think on my next show, trying to think at the top of my head, it's somewhere in Toronto, probably like Redwood Theater or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming in June and July.
Any chance you'll ever be back at the paddock again?
Maybe. I would love to be back.
And if you are there, hopefully I get to introduce you and maybe even do another interview with you, another Q&A, which like I said
Yeah.
was a blast. You know, congratulations on all this. I want to let folks know that you actually contacted me on email and asked about it, and it wasn't even like a thought. It was like, yeah, we're gonna do this interview because I wanted to
Thank
catch
you.
up. You're such a great talent, and your story is very inspiring for others who, a lot of us have gone through a lot during this pandemic, but I love hearing stories where people like yourself have somehow used that tough time to come out in better shape than maybe that you were before. So musically, personally, professionally, congratulations. And let's definitely talk again when another EP or album comes out, because I'm looking so forward from great music from you. Congrats.
Thank you so much.